V-Star and did really well at the last 2023 Worlds as well with Lugia V-Star, and I think he's playing Lugia V-Star again. A player, look at that resume, goodness gracious me. Lille regional champion, just gone World Top 16, World Top 16 again, I was right, both with Lugia V-Star as well. And then Malmo regional finalist, so Konsta Kallama is our round 3 feature match player here on the right.
Can confirm they are playing Archeops Lugia again this round. They're going up against Jake Pearson, who is going to be playing Raging Bolt EX, our presumptive best deck in the format. Oh, we got a bunch of energy. Oh,
goodness.
2 gift, 2 double turbo.
And Luminion.
That's not ideal prizes there. I didn't see anything terrible from Jake, but those are prizes. If I'm Konsta, I'm not delighted, frankly.
No, not the greatest, not the worst. Here we do see the fist bump. No, our round 3 feature match again started hitting Lille Regional Championships. Let's make some noise for that. So Konsta's going to start us off here. That Blood Moon Ursaluna in the active. Don't realistically want that there. Oh, this is big actually. We know Konsta's prized 1 copy of Luminion. Does play 2 copies, but looks like might be ultra balling it away here perhaps. That would mean there'd be no copy of Luminion available. And there it goes.
Oh, and that is heartbreaking. You play 2 copies of Luminion in case one is prized. You see one in your opening hand and you think, look, I've got another one, that's okay. You don't have another one, Konsta, I'm sorry to tell you. So let's have a quick run through the decks as we're doing this early search. Konsta is playing this Lugia deck. It's nice and simple. You need to get 2 Archeops in the discard pile. You get Lugia V-Star going turn 2, use Lugia's V-Star power to put both of those Archeops onto your bench, none of that evolution rubbish, and then you accelerate 2 special energy per Archeops per turn, power up attackers, and go and smash. Tell us about Raging Bolt.
Raging Bolt, you know what, it's kind of similar to be fair, except to smash, you don't really have to get much going. All you have to do is just get some energy, as we do see Ultra Ball concluding for Konsta, and attach to the active and pass. So for Jake, Professor Sada's Vitality is a way to get energy attached to your Raging Bolt, because Raging Bolt has that Bellowing Thunder attack, letting you deal 70 damage for each energy you discard from your Pokemon in play. So we have Professor Sada to get those energy into play, and we also have Till Mask Ogerpon to use Till Dance, who can attach a grass energy to itself as well. So a multitude of ways to get energy in play for Jake. So Jake's actually in a pretty good position here actually, Ross, because all Raging Bolt wants to do is take 2 prizes on your first turn, 2 prizes on your second turn, and spoiler alert, you won't get 2 prizes on your third turn. Jake can very easily do that. Just needs to get some basic energy in play, as we do see that Nest Ball concluding for that Squawkabilly EX.
And if you're Jake, just looking at this and you're going, hang on a second, I'm going second and my opponent's got a 2-prize Pokemon in the active. This is exactly where I want to be. But it does look like that was a Professor's research played there.
Was that Squawk and Seas?
Oh, Squawk and Seas, I did not see. That makes way more sense. Now we do get the Squawk and Seas. Thank you for the correction there. We've got Teal Mask Ogerpon on the bench, but we still don't have a Professor. We don't have a Professor Sada. We do have Earthen Vessel, which can get grass energy, which can attach to Ogerpon to draw a card, which might be Professor Sada. I think that's what we're hoping for the minute.
Yes, that is all we can do basically for the next couple of turns. Earthen Vessel, and you discard 1 card from your hand to grab 2 basic energy. So it's like Earthen Vessel, discarded Earthen Vessel to get basic Lightning and basic Grass. And then you can use that Grass energy via Till Dance to attach it to the Teal Mask Ogerpon and draw a card. This is going to be a really good card here for Jake to continue the turn. Professor Sada would be really nice, but let's just see what it is. Can Jake's turn continue?
Absolutely huge.
Oh.
No, it's a Bravery Charm, and here's why I keep saying it's going to be huge. You attach to Raging Bolt, you play Professor Sada, hang on a second, you've got Prime Catcher in hand, you KO the Lugia, your opponent does not get a turn 2 Lugia V-Star. Unfortunately, not able to pull that off this turn. No Professor Sada means no turn 1 attack.
Well, we could see a Burst Roar, discarding your hand to draw 6, but that would get rid of the Prime Catcher, which is now discarded. So a costly turn there for Jake. Konsta can now start to get back into this game. He needs to get 2 Archeops in a discard pile and then try and find a Lugia V-Star to use Summoning Star. So Burst Roar has been used. Over to Konsta now. Let's see what he can do.
Missing that Professor Sada's Vitality was absolutely huge. That would basically have won Jake the game. He puts Konsta 2 turns away. Oh, here we go. We got the Megagosa. Does not get a Pokemon. But he would have put Konsta 2 turns away from getting a Lugia V-Star, and then you're taking a prize every 2 prizes every turn. That would have been beyond huge, but we don't get Professor Sada. So now for Konsta, you survive that first turn. Your Lugia is still on the board. Okay. can you get your Archeops and Lugia V-Star?
This is going to be interesting. So it's either Jet Energy to get Lugia V in the active after Professor's research as well. So that means you can use Read the Wind, but you don't really want to leave Lugia V in the active because it can easily get KO'd. Now, do we see some Archeops in that hand? No. I see an Ultra Ball. I see one. Oh, there's one Ultra Ball and one Archeops, but no way to get them. No way to discard them both. Oh, no.
I've seen a lot of games of Lugia played on stream over the years since it became legal. I have never seen a player deliberately getting... Oh, sorry. I've never seen a player who got one Archeops when they wanted to who won the game. That doesn't happen. I've seen a game against Control where a player deliberately got one and it worked out.
Yep.
But if you want two and you get one, I have never seen a game on stream where you win that. You need double Archeops, and you're right. You can Ultra Ball for an Archeops, you then got two in hand, and no way to discard them.
Well, you can Ultra Ball this one out of your hand, maybe get rid of the Iron Hand, not traditionally very helpful in this matchup, to then grab a second, and then use Read the Wind to discard that. But obviously Read the Wind's an attack, so you can't use Summoning Star this turn. So you have to sort of just cross your fingers and hope that Jake cannot KO your Lugia V at the very least. So it could be tough. You could also grab a second Lugia V here as well, just to try and give yourself another Lugia on the if you do get KO'd next turn. But
oh, you have to Lugia V here. What do you mean if you get KO'd, Shay?
You're in a tough position. You might have to start trying to, you know.
Your opponent's got a new hand from your burst draw, and you don't even need Professor Sada next turn. Attach for turn, attach to Tiamat's Gogapon, and that is the KO. You don't even need Professor Sada's Vitality. And the thing is, if you're Konsta, you can come back from this. You're playing a 2-2 Chinchino line, so you can, if your opponent whiffs their Gusting for a couple of turns, you can actually move the prize trade in your favor by leaving a single prizer to get KO'd, and then you're not just trading two prizes with your opponent having taken the first KO. That is what you're hoping for here. You slow the game down, you try and get the Archeops next turn, and then you try and use Tinchino to, you know, move the prize race back in your favor. But you have to play a Lugia this turn, or else you're not getting the V-Star next turn.
Oh, looks like Ultra was going to conclude for the Mincino.
Unless I'm missing something here.
Okay.
There's a V-Star.
Oh, it's going to be a Summoning Star for one.
Oh, okay. I mean, look, we get the Summoning Star, and you can get an attack with Lugia this turn. No, you can. Oh, yes, you can if you use double turbo. So you get 200 damage on the board, but... I mean, look, if I'm Jake here, I think, well, hang on a second. If I can KO Archeops and then Lugia, Konsta's got no energy, and Lugia with no energy does not do very well. No. Chinchino can move the prize trade in your favor. However, it takes a lot of energy to do so.
So we do see the Tempest dive there, going to deal 200 damage with that double turbo energy and discard that Meza Goza as well. Like to see that, making sure Jake cannot use it. So, is over to Jake now. Let's see what happens.
There's no bench hitters in Konsta's decks. It's not like you can use Raiding Greninja to finish that off later. You are going to have to get another proper hit onto that Raging Bolt.
Jake's hand isn't very good. There's going to have to be some teal dancing to try and get out of this. Here we go.
Has he got a fighting energy?
Wait, why has that grass energy just been discarded? Yep, we'll take that back. Sorry, teal goes to the active, goes to the Pokemon. Raging Greninja. Ooh.
Oh no, but this is actually super annoying.
Why is that then?
Well, you want to put the fighting energy onto Raging Bolt to attack, but you also want to discard it with Greninja.
Just one energy. Right, yeah.
So you discard it, but now you don't have the requisite. Oh, never punished.
There you go.
Draw into that fighting energy again, along with a Lost Vacuum. And okay, so now you can attach that, and you can at least get the KO. The KO is on the board now.
Yeah. So we are going to see Pokestop, getting rid of a Teal Mask Ogerpine, a basic energy, and okay, well, actually, you don't mind energy being a discard pile, because you just press the side of them straight back into play. Not the worst place in the world. I imagine this Ultra Ball might be going to grab another Raging Bolt. Oh, yeah. Professor Sada, we want to try and get as many energy onto a Raging Bolt as possible. So that seems like a good plan to me.
And to be fair, yeah, I don't think you even want to attach the fighting energy. If you really want to use Professor Sada, you actually want to Sada onto both the Raging Bolt here.
Oh, of course.
So you don't, I mean, you could attach to the active and then just discard it. That would work, but you don't need to attach to the active here. I did not realize I had a Professor Sada in hand a moment ago.
I missed out as well. So
it's hard for us to know exactly what both players have got in hand at all times. We're following a lot here, Shay.
We're trying our best. Come on, everyone. Cut us some slack. So here we do see the Professor Sada. So imagine it's going to be a minimum of fighting to the active.
Yep.
So we can use Bellowing Thunder and then
lightning or fighting to the bench.
Lightning or fighting to the bench,
Doesn't matter.
And it's going to be a big KO. Remember, Bellowing Thunder does 70 for each energy you choose to discard from your Pokemon. So need 4 to get that big KO there. And there's plenty of energy there. We see another Tilt Dance. Joins Professor Sada.
Like that, Shay. That's awesome.
Because we know that Lugia V-Star is a deck that traditionally doesn't play too much hand disruption. So having a Professor Sada in hand is very nice.
Yeah, see, here's the issue I'm seeing from Konsta's side here. You've got the KO nice and easily with, say, your Chinchino. And then you've got your Blood Moon Ursaluna, which can take a next KO, but you need 3 KOs, and I'm only seeing 2 easy to get Pokemon, and here we see a Switch Cart bringing a new Raging Bolt into the active. It's got enough energy because of all the energy shenanigans this turn, and this is very, very big. Now, you can still get a KO with Blood Moon Ursaluna, but you have to not use Double Turbo, but you would still be able to pull it off here.
Yes. So we're going to see Bellowing Thunder going to discard 1 grass, 2 grass, 3 grass energy, and then the fighting energy from the active by looks of it. That's a big Bellowing Thunder KO there as Jake takes 2 prize cards here. The first prize card here in our feature match here at the Lille Regional Championships. Gift energy does activate for Konsta though, gets to draw up to 7.
Which isn't bad.
Which is very good, I'll take that. And promotes Blood Moon Ursaluna, and the turn starts.
Yeah, Blood Moon Ursaluna's got the KO. You attach 2 energy, make sure one of them isn't double turbo, hit 240, you get the KO. Job is a good one. It's only got 240. I said 230 in the intro, I obviously meant 240. Yeah. But my issue here is you can then finish off the bench Raging Bolt with a Chinchino.
Yes.
But then you need to take 1 more prize, and you've only got 1 Archeops out. It is possible, absolutely. Maybe it's a Weirdeer, maybe it's a second Chinchino. But with only 1 Archeops, accelerating the energy becomes awkward.
We do see Legacy Energy getting attached. I like that. Legacy Energy would reduce the amount of prize cards taken, but if the Pokemon is attached, it gets knocked out by 1. So that means if Jake was to KO the Blood Moon Ursaluna, he would only take 1 prize card instead of 2. That's interesting, because Konsta does need to try and, alleviate this prize trade discrepancy, and Legacy Energy would help with that. Konsta is now going to play a Great Ball. I love that card in Lugia V-Star decks. Then you look at the top 7 cards of your deck and grab any Pokemon you find there and pop it in your hand. So this is looking very good. We also see the stadium replacement, Ross Mezagoza.
We're going to flip again. Are we going to get a heads? I have no idea. I can't see. But he hasn't gone and picked up his deck, so I'm assuming that means it was a tails. Here comes Chinchino. Oh, it was a heads. He went and got the Chinchino. That was weird for a second. But we did get the Chinchino there, so that means that you've got your next 2 attackers. And for Konsta, it is, can you get a 3rd attacker rolling? Attached for turn is nice. Here, every single energy attachment is huge.
So there we do see the Blood Moon Ursaluna going to take a big KO here by looks of it. Blood Moon going to deal 240. Remember, does have that season skill ability, reducing the attack cost by 1 curse energy for each prize card your opponent has taken. So Blood Moon is live, and Konsta is going to even up the prize cards here. Now it's game on for Jake.
Yeah, here we go, and that Legacy Energy is going to be a pain because what Jake really wants to do is take 2 more 2-prize KOs, but look at Konsta's board. Legacy Energy on the Blood Moon Ursaluna, that's a 1-prizer. Archeops, 1-prizer. Chinchino, 1-prizer. That means Jake is going to have to take more KOs than he's traditionally comfortable with. Here's the flip for Mezagoza. The real question is, does Konsta have enough time to get enough energy onto his Pokemon? We have a heads from Mezagoza there, so Jake gets to go and grab a Pokemon.
And I think you alluded to something really interesting there, is that Konsta doesn't have as much time to get energy into play. Like, if he wants to try and build a big special wall, hasn't got as much time to do that now. And like we said, maybe going to try and utilize a Weirdeer to maybe try and take these last 2 prize cards. Weirdeer needs a lot of energy for that to work. And I mean, you've only got 1 use of Primal Turbo a turn. Could be hard to do, as we do see the Mezagoza concluding, going to grab another Raging Bolt EX and pop it on the bench.
That's nice. Raging Bolt is how we roll here. Here's the thing, right? If you're Konsta, you do not want to bench your 2-prize Pokemon anymore. No. It can be the final one. If your opponent's got 1 prize remaining, yeah, go bench it, go nuts. But right now, if you're Konsta, your best chance in this game is making sure that Jake has to take 1 prize a turn. And actually, cheekily, it's really annoying if you are playing Raging Bolt and you've got to go through all of this every turn just to take a single prize.
Is there a world? Jake has Boss's orders in hand. Do you Boss's orders the Archeops here?
100%.
I think he does have Boss's orders in hand.
Oh, no.
But then...
I don't know. 100% is not the right answer here, Shay. Because the problem is, if you do that, Blood Moon Ursaluna takes 2 prizes.
Yeah.
But then if it's taking 2 prizes off your heavily damaged Raging Bolt, which is an easy 2 prizes anyway, maybe it's worth it.
Maybe, yeah. This is... Who knows? We do see Trekking Shoe going to get rid of a Professor Sada. Go draw into another copy of Trekking Shoes, I believe, by, oh no, the Teal Mask Ogerpon. So Jake has been tearing through the deck.
Right, so I'm trying to do a bit of maths here.
Okay,
let's say you KO the Archeops.
Yep.
Next turn, Konsta puts 1 energy on Cinccino, KOs with Blood Moon Ursaluna. You then KO Blood Moon Ursaluna, Cinccino gets a 3rd energy, it hits for 210. That is enough to KO Ogerpon with Gusting, so that might still work out. But we do have Bravery Charm on each Ogerpon, so it might just work, but then again, it would still get Squawkabilly.
Yes, but we do see Professor Sada being played, so it looks like we're not going to see any Bustle orders for now. Interesting thought process, though, as we do see Professor Sada going to be played. Look at all the energy in play, bro. There's so much energy. Hisuian Heavy Ball as well. Great card. Love to see that. I don't think... Was there any basic Pokemon in Jake's prize? I don't think there was, actually.
Not that I remember seeing. We're going to get a reminder now. No basic Pokemon there. There's nothing to grab. It's more just get a reminder of your prizes. Know exactly what's there. But also, thin a card from your hand. If an Ino or something were to come down, you don't want to have that card being drawn into.
Yes.
So get rid of it. Lugia plays a couple of Ino. Just give yourself that protection.
Yeah, don't mind that. So yeah, I think Jake's in a good position. Going to take a nice big KO here by looks of it. Shame's going to be for 1 prize card, but there's nothing you can really do about that. And yeah, Cinccino is going to have to, well, do a lot, to be fair.
We talked through the boss's orders onto Archeops play, but really, with all the Bravery Charm and stuff, it really does seem like Jake can just prize race here. It is not guaranteed by any stretch, but I think the most important thing here is getting rid of your opponent's main attacker. Get Blood Moon Ursaluna off the board and basically say to Konsta, I don't think you're taking 4 prizes with Cinccino. You can have 2, I don't care. The active Raging Bolt is going to go down, and I just don't care.
You're going to see Bellowing Thunder there, big KO, and he's 4 energy again to KO that. Only takes 1 prize card this time, but still fantastic. There we go, 1 prize card being taken. Over to Konsta, promotes to Cinccino, and let's see what he can do. Did actually take Luminion off the prize cards there. Now, doesn't really have to put that into play, but worth noting that is available. Mezagoza, now there's a Tails. Well, Konsta hasn't flipped heads in that Mezagoza yet. Oh, my goodness.
I think he flipped heads for the Cinccino, did he not?
I think no, the Cinccino was off the Great Ball.
Ah, that makes a lot more sense. Here's the thing. If I'm Konsta, you attach an energy, you KO the Raging Bolt. You do 140, even with a Bravery Charm, you get the KO, it's fine.
Yeah.
My issue here is, where are those last 2 prizes coming from? Jake's still got to take 3 individual KOs in order to finish off this game.
Yes.
But you can basically, at that point, just pick and choose whatever's got energy on, and that's going to be a bit of a problem. You know, Cinccino next turn can hit 70 damage. You don't mind about that. Although the Archeops is helping out here, so maybe that 1 Archeops is going to get you over the line. It's going to hit 210. Konsta might still be able to finish this off with that single Archeops.
I mean, that would be really nice to see. I love that little Mincino coming down there, pumps up with double jet energy. And you're right, it's actually really interesting. Let's see what Konsta can do. I mean, only needs, what, 1 more energy to the active? Yep.
That's easy. The energy to the active was fine. It's here.
So there we are going to see that big special roll KO. Love to see that. Konsta takes 2 prize cards, go down to 2.
After all of that, after all the discussion, Shay, I think if Konsta can find a second Cinccino, I think he might have. I have never seen a game where a Lugia player gets 1 Archeops when they want 2 and wins it. Could Konsta be proving us wrong here? Or at least breaking that record?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, how can Jake get around? Could use the Sandy Shock to take a KO, right? Does that, well, wait, can Sandy Shock even get there? Because it doesn't hit for weakness. Would have to use the Power Gem. That would get there, but it actually has benched the Pheasantipity, so we won't be seeing any Sandy Shocks action. Pheasantipity is live, you know, flip the script. Then you draw 3 cards if one of your Pokemon was KO'd.
Look. And that Cinccino can hit 350 next turn with Archeops and then attachment for turn.
So let's have an energy retrieval going to be played. Going to grab about 2 basic energy from the discard pile. So let's see what can. And this is one of the downsides to the Raging Bolt deck, is that it's kind of one-dimensional. It can just swing with a 2 prize at every turn. It's very good at doing that. But that's all it can realistically do most of the time.
So what we kind of said in the open, it's not a deck that's really countering what you're doing. It's a deck that's saying, look at me, I hit hard. I don't care what your plan is, I've got my plan. And if the plan falls apart, it does. Now here we see the boss's orders on the Archeops. I like this because here it basically limits each Cinccino to 210 next turn. But see, even then, Gusting and Konsta can win. Or if Konsta can kind of sacrifice 1 Cinccino to get 2 turn attachments on the other one, and there's no Braving Charm on the Raging Bolt, then you'll hit 280 and that will be the win. Braving Charm will put up to 290 and be 10 out of range. So I would have liked this Archeops the previous turn. I think that would have hurt a lot more. You would have had to give up prizes though, and that's a pain.
I think as long as there's Boss's Orders in hand and an energy.
There we go.
So Boss's Orders going to bring up the Pheasant Dipsy or Squawkabilly special roll for game, and Konsta will take our game 1 here in our round 3 feature match, and doing it with only 1 Archeops. Ross, your streak of seeing Archeops only having 1 in play and players losing is now over.
I can never again say on stream that I've never seen a player with 1 Archeops when they wanted 2 winning because Konsta has gone and proved us wrong, and that was an awkward back and forth game. Those questions of do you go after that lone Archeops or do you go after the attackers? But in the end, it was Konsta doing what we said. It was using those single prize attackers and then Blood Moon Ursa Luna as a pseudo single prize attacker. That was the big difference there, making sure you're only giving up 1 prize per KO. It meant that, you know, Raging Bolt is taking a bunch of KOs, but not unfortunately getting close enough to winning. And because Konsta's taking 2 prizes every turn and Raging Bolt's taking 1, that unfortunately does mean that Lugia ends up victorious. That was a weird game, Shay.
It really was. There's a lot of things to think about, right? You know, special roll when you're only using energy attachments and 1 primal turbo, not the traditional, you know, get into play and it's just dealing 280 damage straight away. But yeah, real interesting to see that legacy energy was so huge.
Oh, yes.
Just being able to just stem that 2 prize loss and just get back in the game. And I think, to be fair, I'm not sure what else Jake could have realistically done. Maybe going after Archeops earlier was the play, but, you know. But anything can happen. You know, it just has to win 2 more games now. Is that a 2-0 record? So it's very possible. And let's see what can happen.
Yeah, see, the problem here is that Raging Bolt is basically coming along saying, I want to play against all these big 2-prize decks. Dragapult, Charizard. I want to be taking down 2 prizes. Bam, 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 I win the game. Some Lugia decks nowadays don't even play Chinchino, and it's really just the legacy energy. Those builds of Lugia, Raging Bolt is far better against. Here, when you can use Chinchino and you can use your legacy energy, you're going to be in a much better position. And here's the thing, like if I'm Jake, I'm like, he had 1 Archeops and I still lost. Does not make you feel great going into game 2 while Konsta has 1 Archeops prized.
All right, is over to our game 2. Looks like Konsta is going to be kicking us off. Now, it does have Ultra Ball and double Archeops in the hand, so Konsta immediately goes off to the races. We'll get rid of those Archeops, grab himself a Lugia V, and do a little prize card check. However, Konsta has led a 2-prize Pokemon again. Not something you really want to do against Raging Bolt. Did get away with it in the last game. Will he get away with it again?
And that's the thing, you know, I said last game was weird. There's a world in which, you know, if Jake just had Professor Sada turn 1, you KO the only Lugia, Konsta never gets any Archeops until Jake's taken at least 4 prizes, and at which point Jake probably ends up winning game 1. But game 2, Konsta goes straight into the Ultra Ball for double Archeops, the dream of every Lugia player to have in hand turn 1, but does pass again with 1 Lugia on the board. This is what happened in the last game. Konsta didn't get punished. This is it for Jake. This is the turn where you try and punish. Problem is, the only real way to gust without using your supporter is Prime Catcher, and that's a 1-of in your deck.
We do see a Pokegear being played. Oh, I was going to say, got excited there. Drew into the Prime Catcher. Obviously, can't take that off a Pokegear.
You cannot.
So we're going to have to grab the Boss's Orders instead. But yeah, it's interesting because some Raging Bolt lists like to play the Pokemon Catcher, which have been very good in this situation. But Jake opting not to. So let's see what he can do. Pokegear going to grab the Boss's Orders and bench a Tilmask Ogerpon as well.
A big good theory here. You've got, you know, maybe a card or 2 off of your Teal Dance or your Tilmask Ogerpon. You've got hopefully 3 cards off your Professor Sada's Vitality. You've got maybe 6 cards off of your Squawk and Seize. Oh. So there's still some digging to be done if you can get Professor Sada and Prime Catcher.
Wait a second. There's Professor Sada in hand, but there's no way of getting energy into the discard pile.
That is an unfortunate situation. We see another Pokegear here. But if you've already got both your... Well, I mean, the only thing you play like 1 Briar and 1 Iono, like...
Oh, that's a miss, actually. No supporters in that top 7.
What do you even want here? You've got Boss's Orders and Professor Sada in hand.
Either way, again, energy in the discard pile, but there's no options for that. I think... I guess you can manually attach the active and do a burst roar again, but I don't foresee a way in which Bellowing Thunder will be coming out. And if that's the case again, Konsta will be feeling very lucky.
Yeah, we see Lugia players whiff the double Archeops in the discard turn 1 all the time. We don't see them whiffing finding Lugia V-Star on turn 2 very often at all. That is a much easier thing to pull off. So
there we do see the burst war. But Konsta's hand actually isn't very good. Boss's orders, Mr. Energy, Iron Hands, and what's that one called? Gift Energy. So again, it's just going to be straight back over by the looks of it. Can't really read the wind. Wouldn't really want to read the wind actually, because that'll leave your Lugia V vulnerable. So it's got to just be attach energy and a pass. Maybe Boss's order just to make life a bit more awkward, perhaps.
It's our spooky regional, and I've given them the caster curse. No longer, you know, I've said, oh, no one ever misses Lugia turn 2, and Konsta's like, cheers, Ross. All of a sudden whiffs it. Now, this is huge for Jake. There is 1 Lugia on the board. There are 2 Archeops in the discard pile. Jake needs to KO that Lugia. You cannot rely on Konsta whiffing turn after turn. So, we do the Bravery Charm onto your Roaring Moon. Squawkabilly no longer an option, because it's no longer... Oh, thank you. Lugia, the Squawkabilly no longer an option. It's not turn 1 anymore. But you've got draws from your, thank you, Radiant Greninja. We got draws from Teal Mask, 2 of them, and
drew into the Professor Sada off that moon. Not like Shuriken, the concealed cards, I should say.
We don't even really need Sada this turn, truth be told. You can get there with manual attachments. What you do need to do is draw cards looking for that Prime Catcher. Or Boss's Orders. But you don't have Boss's Orders. You burst roared it away. You've got Pal Pad. I'm not seeing any other way to draw cards here.
Well, it has Earthen Vessel, so I can grab 2 copies of Basic Grass, or 1 copy of Basic Grass, and then you can draw off Teal Dance. But that's going to be it. So we do see the Pal Pad going to be used. Shuffle in the Boss, and I think was that Professor Sada as well.
I think you get them both back here.
Yep, get them both back. Shuffle up, and let's see what those Teal Dance moves can do.
It's really awkward. Do you draw 1 card and Boss's Orders is an option, or do you draw 2 knowing you've got to hit Prime Catcher? The odds say you draw 1 with Boss's Orders as an option, but I think that's got to be where you go here.
All these cards are good. There's an Earthen Vessel's being eyed up. We're going to get rid of Energy Retrieval.
So I think what you do here is you attach to both your Teal Mask Ogopon. No, sorry, you attach to Teal Mask and you're active. You draw 1. You hope it's a Gusting. If it is a Gusting, you KO the Lugia, you're good to go. If it's not, then you play Professor Sada. You get to draw 3 more cards, but then it has to be Prime Catcher. So I'm pretty sure that's the way you maximize your outs here. You need to Gust that Lugia. So here you just... But then, gotta hope.
If you was to use Prime Catcher, you'd have to then retreat something. You wouldn't then have enough energy in play, right?
Moot point now, we have not got Prime Catcher. So now you have to play Professor Sada.
Which, to be fair, Raging Bolt just wants to take the first 2 prize cards and keep doing that. It's like, getting rid of the Lugia V would have been dreamer scenario. Taking 2 prize cards here is equally fun. But worth noting, actually, sneaky little gift energy there from Konsta. We'll be able to draw up to 7 on this KO and might be able to try and get back in this game.
Have one on a Lugia as well for what it's worth.
Yep.
And no Gusting. Well, we do have Trekking Shoes, though. We can keep digging for a moment. There goes Trekking Shoes.
Oh, no, this is actually a big decision. This is a big decision. We know how important Flip the Script is in a lot of matchups.
You do play 2 Night Stretchers, so it can come back.
Did opt to keep it, Jake. Did opt to keep it.
Yeah, I think the odds of getting it are so low, and like you say, you've got to muck around retreating and all of that. So I think here you do just KO the active. It's not ideal.
And worth noting, while that Raging Bolt has a Bravery Charm attached, it's going to be really hard for Konsta to try and actually work towards where there's no Minccino on the bench. So I'm fairly confident saying that Roaring Moon isn't going to go... Roaring Moon, you've got me doing it now. Raging Bolt is going nowhere. But we do see the Bellowing Thunder. Big KO there. Gift Energy will activate. Konsta gets to draw 4 cards. Oh, they didn't. I think I saw Professor's Research, but I saw a ton of energy there. Let's see what Konsta can do. Great Ball. Boss's Orders. A whole host of energy, and tell a lie, I do not see a Professor's Research there now.
Hope you hit it off of this. Oh, first card.
There we go.
Literally the top card.
V-Star, come on.
Then you get your 2 Archeops, and here you are trying to... Now, here's the thing. Lugia plays no Pokemon recovery.
No.
Doesn't play it in the deck. Blood Moon Ursaluna is now in the discard pile. That is a great attacker in this matchup.
Really
one that Konsta used brilliantly back in game 1. So off the board, it's not available. You've got a 2-2 Cinccino line. Again, you do not play recovery. So it's going to be a little bit awkward here.
I guess Boss's Orders is in hand. So we can actually, as long as you don't attach a double energy, you can actually Tempest Diver bench Teal Mask Ogopon for a KO.
Yeah,
that would work. Worth noting, funnily enough, can't do it now, but a little bit of trivia. You could actually, if you want to. Oh no, you can't summoning star the Ursaluna because they can't have a rule box, right? For summoning. Ah, okay. So I was gonna say you could summoning star back the Ursaluna, but
no one is gonna summoning star an Ursaluna, Shay.
Oh yeah, rule box. Yeah. You never know.
I feel like I know, Shay.
Well, you can't do it. Moot point, because you can't do it anyway.
No, it's not a legal play, unfortunately. Fun idea, though.
So it looks like Primal Turbo is being used. So I'll be intrigued to see. But what's all of this in hand? We haven't seen support yet. So you can at least take 2 prize cards here, going after a Teal Mask Ogerpon.
Yeah, you've got plenty of energy in hand. You can use your 2 Archeops. So energy's not going to be a problem. You're hitting 220. You can get rid of a Teal Mask Ogerpon. One of the biggest issues here is you're going to run out of prizes. And you don't play, you play 4 bosses orders. Do you really want to have to rely on playing one of them for each of your KOs? Maybe you do. But it's awkward if you end up in that situation.
Yeah.
Having said that, why don't you just use Cinccino, whack a whole bunch of energy on there, and just KO your Raging Bolt with Bravery Charm, and just not even. You get 5 energy in a turn. That's 350 damage.
I mean, that'd be very helpful, but the problem is that there is no Minccino down. So while this turn is good, you're taking 2 prize cards, it kind of leaves Konsta a bit vulnerable next turn because there's nothing you can realistically do. Why are we oohing?
Well, I'm oohing because, yeah, what is Konsta... there's no way that Lugia's still there next turn. Like, Raging Bolt is going to KO it. And, okay, it's only going to take 1 prize because Legacy Energy obviously has already come out. But there's no Minccino to evolve into. No Minccino to evolve into Cinccino.
Yeah.
Lobbing Ursaluna's in the discard, so that's not an option.
Yeah.
So, like, potential attackers, we've got Iron Hand and Weirdeer. And I don't think either of them are phenomenal, honestly.
We won't be able to use Iron Hands because Legacy Energy has been committed now as well.
Oh, that's a good point. So that's the only energy for Iron Hands. So literally the only viable attacker next turn is Weirdeer. And here's the thing. You put 5 energy on, which is the maximum you can get in 1 turn. And you do 200 damage. It's not even enough to KO a Teal Mask Ogerpon.
Yeah, if he's using a Weirdeer to do 200 damage, that'd be a bit of a... I was going to say, oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Weirdeer is not good. And that's one of the things I find. Now, Konsta managed to navigate it last game, and that was awesome. But Konsta's attackers here, unless you've got Cinccino with double Archeops, the attackers are a bit annoying. They're not... They've all got these big downsides.
Yeah, so let's see what Jake can do. They're going to play a Nest Ball to grab another Teal Mask Ogerpon. That's my favorite artwork there on that one on the right. So let's see what happens. We'll flip the script. Well, I'll say Pheasant Dipsy comes down. Flip the script is now get activated, letting you draw 3 cards if one of your Pokemon Moscow did draw into Professor Sada, for what it's worth.
5 energy on a Weirdeer will not KO Pheasant Dipsy. Does 200. Pheasant Dipsy has 210, so that's not an option. Squawkabilly is not down on the board. Here comes Professor Sada's Vitality. And if I'm Konsta, I'm wondering what I'm doing next turn. You do not want to use a 2-prize Pokemon, but you kind of have to. Unless you just sacrifice an Archeops or a Minccino, neither of which you really want to just give up an easy prize on.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's going to be interesting. We see a turn attachment now as well, so the Raging Bolt army is getting created. Look at all that energy. That's a very scary place to be. We see Night Stretcher in the hand potentially being eyed up. There's no grass energy in the hand now, so Teal Dance isn't an option. Maybe you could use Night Stretcher to go grab yourself a grass energy if you like. But, I mean, it's not something I would do. So let's see. So we're going to see a big Bellowing Thunder there for 4 energy, 280 damage. Big KO. We're going to get that Lugia V-Star, and it's going to leave a fighting energy on the benched Raging Bolt. And let's see what Jake can do. Only takes 1 prize card, though, because that Legacy Energy, do not forget. Yeah. It's a very expensive 2-prize KO there, isn't it? For 280 for 1 prize card.
That's what I mean. Lugia doesn't like doing this. But what's Konsta attacking with? You can evolve into Cinccino. You know, you can play weird here, and then Jake goes down to 1 prize remaining, which is not really what you want to do. You can attack with Archeops. Yeah. You know, it does have Speed Wing. You can do 120 damage. It doesn't even KO Radiant Greninja, annoyingly. No. But you can get some damage on the board, 100 if you use double turbo. And at least that gives you an easier KO. Maybe follow up with a Weirdeer later on or something along those lines. Use less energy on a Cinccino. But... I mean, calling it a less than ideal turn would be somewhat of an understatement.
TCG Professor Research being played, discarding a whole lot of energy. It looks like Speedwing is being eyed up with double turbo energy to the active and a gift energy attached as well. Capturing Aroma, flip a coin if heads, grab an evolution if tails, grab a basic, and we see a heads.
Yeah, you
probably want to get the tails there.
Yeah, you want to get the tails there to go and get your Minccino. Chinchino's fine, but you kind of need something to evolve into it. You could have got them off with your Summoning Star. You chose not to. Here comes Mezagoza. It's a heads.
Let's go.
So now we get Minccino coming down, and if I'm Jake, I'm like, hi, Minccino. Come play in the active. Plenty of room for you here. Come on, come play with the big boys.
Come play with the big boys.
I'm definitely gusting at Minccino. That's what I'm getting at here, Shay. If I've got any... If my opponent really wants to use an Archeops to do 100 damage every turn, I am just going to let them. That Minccino is on my list. As
we do see that Speedwing. Don't get to announce that one very often, but
not even a 2-hit KO. It's a 3-hit KO.
Yeah, not very speedy, is it? It's a rather slow wing, if you ask me, if that's a 3-hit KO. But that's just me. Right, over to Jake then. Let's see what Jake can do. That hand's looking very big. Pokestop replacement, I should say.
He's got boss's orders in hand. Does he have enough? You would need lightning energy, some way to switch, and...
Well, switch card's there. Lightning energy is in hand.
Oh, that's literally it, actually.
Okay.
You need one energy discarded.
Yeah.
And boss's orders is in hand, so I'm sorry, Minccino. This ain't going to end well for you, buddy.
This isn't going to be the most bellowing of thunders, is it? It's going to be like, you know, what a quiet thunder is what it was. Like, oh, there you go. A little one energy tap.
Yeah. This is going to be the effort I used to blow out my 2-year-old's birthday candles, not my own. So many birthday candles, Shay.
So many birthday. What, for a 2-year-old? It's not 2 candles.
Not for him, for me, mate.
Oh, right. Okay. Do we want to see a concealed cards there? Going to draw in. Wow, good cards draw into the Earthen Vessel and a Grass Energy. That's going to get attached via Till Dance. Draw a card. Another Grass Energy, Till Dance. Where Jake having a little Till Dance dance off over there. Look how big that hand is. That's the interesting thing about these Till Mask Ogerpon decks is that you might think the draw power is not that great. When you actually add it up, all the Till Dance, Flip the Script, Concealed cards, it adds up really fast. But there we do see Bellowing Thunder going after the active.
And this is perfectly viable as well. I would personally have gone after the Minccino, just take out all of those attacking options, especially with no Pokemon recovery. That only gives a 1-1 line potential there. But Jake's going, look, I got 2 prizes remaining. Konsta's got 4 prizes remaining. Yeah. So I'm just going to let them use Minccino. I'm going to let them get the KO here because now there is a bravery charm. So yeah, so here's how the maths works out.
Okay.
You need both Archeops attachments and attachment from turn to go from 280 to 350 to get the KO now that bravery charm is on there.
Right.
Even if Konsta benches a Minccino this turn, the most energy it can have on it next turn is 210, which forces Konsta to have gusting in order to win the game next turn, which is actually an option, to be fair.
No, it really is.
Oh, here we get gusting with boss's orders. Now, this is the other way to do it. Wait, do we not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the other way to do it here is essentially to do it this turn and then bench a Minccino and start attaching now, so you don't need gusting next turn. But
I think we didn't even see Primal Turbo activation.
Do we have a Minccino prized?
I think they got discarded, right, off the Professor's research on, like, turn 2 or 3.
If there's no other Minccino available, this is looking bad for Konsta, because I don't know what you're attacking with. Because you've lost your Blood Moon Ursaluna. You're going to be hitting a maximum of 120 with Weirdeer. And this goes back to what we were saying a couple of turns ago. Konsta's running out of attackers here.
Yeah, it really is. Having that Blood Moon Ursaluna in the prize card, so unfortunate there. So Earthen Vessel's going to discard a Pokestop to grab a basic Grass Energy. But yeah, this is really looking interesting now. And Konsta navigated his way out of this game 1, but this game 2 is looking a lot more harder.
Yeah, we're going to see the KO here with Raging Bolt against that Chinchino, and Konsta's just out of attackers. Blood Moon's not coming back. If that Minccino did go away early game, and I'm believing you that it did, then there's no Chinchino option here. So that means literally the only possible attackers are Weirdeer hitting 120 or Archeops hitting 120. Here we bring the Archeops back up again.
Wait, but now you can lose to
Gusting with me.
Boss's orders on the Presentipity, right? That's live with a turn attachment, is it not?
So
740, 21, 28.
Oh, well, no, the double turbo are 50 each. So that's 170 at the moment, 240 max next turn.
He just goes after the Presentipity. So that is currently live.
Or the Teal Mask Ogerpon even.
Or Teal Mask Ogerpon, correct, actually.
That's assuming we get a turn attachment. It's currently hitting 170.
Yeah.
Hitting 240 with an attachment. That does give Konsta an option with Gusting here.
So let's see.
Oh, no. Okay. Is he trying to trap it in the active? No, it accelerates energy to itself. That's not an option. Okay, so
let's
here
see.
we go.
Does Konsta have an energy and a boss's order? I think boss is in hand, actually. Boss and energy.
Boss is in hand and energy, so there's an energy. And we're going to see a boss's orders here onto the Presentipity.
Wow.
We're going to hit for 240 damage. That's the KO. And Konsta's going to take this 2 games to 0, I think.
Yeah, I think so. There we go.
There's the fist bump. That was 240 damage. Presentipity gets KO, and Konsta takes the game. I did not see that going Konsta's way.
Yeah.
After those first couple of turns, after the first couple of KOs, it did not look like Konsta was coming back into that. But, you know, catches a break there with the Chinchino, and then Chinchino does what Chinchino does. Not the spookiest Pokemon ever, but good enough to go to 3-0 in our spooky regional here in Lille.
Yeah, Konsta and Chinchino just rolling into the round 4 there with a victory. Absolutely love to see that. Wasn't expecting that, you know, had to navigate out of some tricky starts, and we kept on saying numerous times in that game too, this is looking like a very dangerous spot to be in there for your Konsta. But hey, you know what? Current Lille champion.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
well, look, we just saw, you know, last year, Dortmund, Yellow Van Kempen comes and was that a 2nd place finish?
Yep.
And then comes back this year and gets a top 4 finish.
Yep.
So I'm just saying there is history here. We take players that did well last year, we bring them back to the same, I say we bring them. Yeah, they come back to the same venue and having a good run, and sometimes there's something about particular cities and venues that players just do better in.
Yeah, and you know, Konsta, like I said, has been playing this Lugia V-Star archetype for a long time. 2 world top 16s actually. And yeah, doing really well this season. I want to sort of have a little gander at how this sort of match panned out, as it were, because it was a really interesting one. As we said, it wasn't the most easiest of games to navigate. Starting off there with this immediate bad prizing, prized the Luminion, and then actually discarded it immediately on that turn 1. But had to navigate out here, Ross. You said we've never seen a Lugia V-Star player win when they get 1 Arcops into play, but that's exactly what Konsta did.
Yeah, Jake missed that turn 1 KO on the Lugia. It was very close, but wasn't able to pull it off. And then with Konsta here, we see the KO with Chinchino, and it really was a game of, I only give up 1 prize per KO, and I am going to win the prize race. We get the KO onto Arceus, but it's too late at that point. Chinchino's got enough energy to finish out the game, and we see there the boss's orders onto the Presentipity to win game 1. And I'm going to say it was the Presentipity, not the Squawkabilly, just so we get symmetry in both of our games. Over to game 2, Jake again has a chance to win, and Konsta's not loving that. Turn 1 was bad, turn 2 was bad, but then the Lugia gets double Archeops out. Yeah,
I would say Konsta's turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are all pretty bad, to be honest. Not really how you want to be navigating yourself here around. Jake, you know, did manage to get back in the game, no? Got down to this. Normally, if you get Lugia down to this board state, you should be in a happy place, but opted, you know, instead to sort of gust around the Chinchino, which was just able to slowly build up that special roll. And if you don't answer it, as we do see here, special roll can close the games out. You don't want to leave a Chinchino with energy on, because Chinchino has no problems in taking big, massive KOs. You can make an argument there that Chinchino was actually bellowing a lot louder than the Raging Bolt that game.
Yeah, you picture it in your head, you know, the little Chinchino coming up against that big Raging Bolt, and you're like, hang on a second. That big Paradox Pokemon, the ancient version of a legendary Pokemon coming up against, you know, little old Chinchino. But of course, sometimes it's who you know, and Chinchino's getting backed up by Lugia, and Lugia's, you know, he's got a bit of something to him. I'm
just imagining this Chinchino running up to the Raging Bolt with his energy. He's going, right then, have some of that. Have some of that. Stashing them. And, you know, it worked, though. Like, it really did work. And it was an interesting play style there from Jake to opt to go around it all the time. And I think eventually just came back to catch him.
It did. But, you know, we got Freya waiting in the lounge, and she's gone and caught Konsta. So let's go and have a chat with Freya and Konsta.
Thank you, Ross. Yes, indeed, I have caught Konsta, brought him back here for an interview at the Lounger. How are you feeling after that win, Konsta?
You know, pretty good.
Yeah, so you're currently the reigning Lille regional champion, of course. I have to ask, so remember the story from last time where you guys had a massively long overnight drive to get here in time, and then you won the regional. Please tell me your journey this time was a little bit less tumultuous.
This time was all right. This one was better. We went, and you know, we saw this coming. We had to like prepare for it, so we flew on Thursday.
Oh,
so
okay.
There was nothing that could have happened. You know?
Very, very sensible. So let's talk a bit about the match specifically. So in game one, as Ross was mentioning during the cast, you actually were forced to go for only one Archeops, and he has never seen a game on stream where Lugia got out one Archeops and won, but this time he managed it. So how was that?
Yeah, well, I just was looking at the turn 2, my Ultra Ball, thinking about it really long. Like, should I go for the 1 or should I try to like read the wind, get another Lugia? And then I just decided that, okay, I'm so likely to lose if I don't do anything now. I'm just gonna, because like even if I went for the Lugia, I'm not very likely to get the second Archeops next turn, so I just had to like go for it and see if it's enough. I technically do have enough energies if he just does not knock it out early enough. So, you know, I had to go for it.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it played out, right? When you're playing with any one Archeops, you have to be a lot more careful of your energy attachments, right? Your manual attachment matters a lot more, and you have to manage a lot more carefully. But then we saw in game 2, you actually had 2 Archeops out, but then you end up falling behind a little bit. But then towards the end, we saw that Jake was targeting down both your Archeops, but then your Cinccino got built up enough to take the last KO. Were you surprised that Jake took that route?
Yeah, I was. Like, if he hadn't done that, I don't think I have, because I don't have even 4 energies left. I think I have to like Iono and try to Weirdier, but I 3-shot the guy, so it's like he has to wait for Sada off the Bellowing Thunder. Like, I thought, I was considering scooping the game, but I thought, like, I'm gonna take all my chances, you know, see if he has
Very
it.
glad you didn't in the end.
Yeah.
So then, so whilst we're here, is there any shout-outs you want to give? Anyone you want to say like, thank you to, just whilst you're here at the lounge?
You know, shout out to everyone from Finland. We have, like, 10 people again here today, so.
It's awesome. And
Thank
then,
you.
how confident do you feel after this to defend your title?
You know, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much, Konsta. Best of luck for the rest of your rounds. We're going to throw back to the caster, so back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Freya. Always nice to hear from a phenomenal player after what was a pretty phenomenal win. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Shay. I've always been a little bit, and don't judge me for this, I've always been a little bit skeptical of Lugia. Now, maybe it's because I played too many games where I'm just like, where's my Archeops? Oh, I got my Archeops, where's my discard? Oh, I've already lost. But we see players like Konsta, like Rahul Reddy, for instance, at Worlds and in Dortmund with the same 60-card deck, you know, in both of those events, coming along with this Lugia deck, you know, tournament after tournament after tournament, and just doing phenomenally with it. How good do you think it is realistically right now?
I think, I'm going to go out on a limb here. Let me know, chat, if you agree. I think, right, if Lugia V-Star, right, has 2 Archeops on the bench, a Minccino or a Cinccino in play, it is the best deck in format. Like, I think it's that simple. You're going to attach 4 special energy. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4 from the deck. Turn attach, that's 5, and you've got a whole host, a whole treasure trove.